So when I say crowdsourcing, Shauna, what do we mean by that?
What we mean by crowdsourcing is large amounts of people like feeding data into a single like source.
Okay.
And so essentially, a lot of people get confused as to why Waze sometimes is the best example I can come up with. If you have the Waze app, it'll tell you, like the traffic is really congested here, or, route you around that. So as a Waze is a unique example because you are both feeding the machine as well as a consumer of the machine data. And so you are pulling that down. And so whereas your GPS in your car has a built-in map system, it's basically old school maps, digital, and it says, okay, here's how you get from point A to point B. And I know about the speed limits, so I can figure out how long it's going to take you to get there. But it doesn't know traffic, right? It doesn't know there was an accident on the road it's going to send you on. And so I think we've all been in those situations where you end up and you're like, oh, I made a bad decision. Like I should have went a different way. This is going to take me a while. And so what Waze does using the data, so as you're driving, it's feeding that data up to the satellite, and it's also feeding back down to all the users. And so they can tell based on how fast you're going, how the speed's going to be. They can tell that traffic's starting to slow down, probably during rush hour. We've got people congesting a particular area. You might want to go around that. And so Waze allows you through crowdsourcing, through that data, to give you that instant feedback of there's a police here or there's a pothole there. Yeah. And so it does rely on users giving that information as well.
Well, so even like review type sites would be crowdsourcing, but Waze is dynamic in terms of its, where if I go onto Yelp to look at restaurants, that's more of a static crowdsourcing version where we're now to the point where you're literally finding out what's happening at that moment.
Right. It's so in theory you should be caught with less off guard, but we always get caught a little bit. Go ahead.
I just never thought about that before. Like it is similar, but that differentiation, like I can only imagine what it would be like if you had like a Waze for restaurants and you could actually get a poll of like how things were going at that moment.